Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Shmup Moments, an abstract art piece shoot 'em up on Steam that's got some issues. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. Shmup Moment from developer Mankind Incorporated released on Steam in mid-March. So the game itself is a free movement shooter similar to a twin stick, but without the second stick. Looking at the menu itself, the options are relatively bare bones here. You have the high scores where you can look at your 10 best scores, as well as options. There's not a whole lot there. Windows full screen, the volumes, and you can change a couple control settings, but that's about it. When we go to the play menu, we've got the stages 1 through 5. And you unlock the additional stages by completing the first stage. That being the case, at this point you will notice that I have not unlocked anything past stage 1, and here's where we come with the problems that exist with Shmup Moments. So I love these abstract art piece shoot 'em ups. One of my favorite shoot 'em ups from the previous console generation was on the PlayStation 3, Everyday Shooter. I loved that game, and for the longest time I played it every day because it was just that compelling and beautiful of a game. When you've got this great music mixed with the awesome and abstract visuals to just give you these different ideas, I really like that, and I kind of felt like this game could be that. But there's a problem. The game itself is blisteringly hard, and I almost feel like glitched or broken to the point where the first stage is like practically unbeatable. This isn't for lack of trying. I've tried for almost 3 hours to complete stage 1 with no results. I get close to the end, but there's just a section that is impossible. So diving into the game itself, we go and control our neat little looking ship here. And we've got a couple different methods for attack. We have these homing missiles, which we can launch. There's a brief cooldown between them. They'll home in on the enemies, but they're relatively ineffectual. And then we have our main weapon. There's this awesome shotgun, but the problem with the shotgun is it has like massive recoil, or maybe it's not necessarily a problem. It's definitely designed that way, as it gives you the ability to do something called a shotgun dash. You can use the shotgun to launch yourself backwards. Another really awesome feature that we have here is the ability to use a super slow-mo, where we can slow things down incredibly, but the problem that exists with that is your score will decrease. So there's other problems with it, however, and I think that might possibly be where the glitch or the game being somewhat broken comes into play. Though you will sometimes bunch together enemies or enemy shots when you're using slowdown, but it does give you the chance to get around the enemies. So all this would be great if that was all that it was. But we're getting closer to the end of stage 1, and thus we're also getting to the point where I have some issues. So if we don't destroy that giant enemy before we start shooting these blocks, he'll start firing these blocks that are just gigantic. And here we go and come to the problem. So there's these lines of bullets, and this line right here, I'll slow it down so we can go and see, if you watch the official gameplay video for stage 1 and 2, the spacing is nothing like this. And at the top, we can see another problem. So if we're using the slowdown, then the bullets just come stacked so close together, it's impossible. There's no way you can go and get through that, making the end of stage 1 impossible to complete. And that's frustrating. I really, really want to go and see more of this game, but I can't because this kills me. Dead. So, minus flavors, the game is broken. It's hard, but it's not hard to the point where you can't get through it. But I run into the point at the end of stage 1 where even if I'm not using slowdown, those lines are too close together to be able to maneuver with the speed that you have. Even using the shotgun dash, using the shotgun to go and propel yourself isn't enough, because you have to go and stop time for just a second, and then the bullets even scrunch together to the point where you can't get through the second wave. oh, it just makes me so upset. Plus flavors. I love the abstract beauty of the game. The music is really compelling. I want to see more of what it has to offer, but I can't. And because of that, this is a title that receives a rare. I can't recommend this at all. Until this game is like fixed in some way, there's like no reason for you to go and like check this out. It's basically today's Shoot 'em Up Saturday is more just telling you to avoid this one at this point than anything else, and it really disappoints me to go and have to put together an episode that's like that. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.